Hello, my name is Gladys Gilmore, and I'm here to speak with you today about the IEP process and ensuring that your child gets the services that they need during that process. Okay, parents participate in the entire IEP process, and it's important to have a parent's input because you know your child best. And so you can give the teachers some actual insight into your child's progress or any problems that they're having at home. Also, student involvement is very important too, especially as they get older. And maybe by middle school, you should have your child participate in the IEP process so they can know what their accommodations are and what their disabilities are also. The first part of the IEP process will be a referral. A referral can be made by you, the parent, it can be made by the teacher, or it can be made by other school personnel. The IDEA says that the schools have a duty to identify, then evaluate students that may have a disability. So within 15 days, you must be provided a copy of an assessment plan and a procedural safeguard. You will have 15 days to approve the plan and then return it to the school signed by you, and the school cannot evaluate the student without the proper paperwork returned by you. The evaluation process. Let's talk a little bit about that. A child must be evaluated before they can receive special education services. This is the very beginning of the referral process. Parent consent is the first thing, and before anything can happen, and then the evaluation process will determine if the child has a disability. There are guidelines to this. The psychological, there must be a psychological evaluation that takes place, and this will give us an insight into the emotional skills, the behavior, and the social skills of the student. Also, cognitive testing and achievement testing will take place to determine how the student does in school based on his age and his grade level. And then an interview classroom observation will be conducted with the students' teachers, also family members, and the student themselves to get a correct look at their functional, social, and academic abilities. Okay, their eligibility determination will be the next thing. After the evaluation is done, and it has been determined that the student has a disability, it still must be determined if the student is eligible for special education services. Just because a student has a disability does not mean that they need special education services. If determined that their disability does not keep them from learning in a general education setting, then they will not receive services. If the child is denied services, there are always other options to help that child succeed. The last part I'm going to talk about is the IEP components. The IEP, the Individual Education Plan, is a document for students with disability. It acts as a guide and it shows the level that the student is currently at. And then it also has their goals where they're trying to get to. The IEP has several components, and it has that include the student's current skill levels in all areas, and also there will be an explanation of their disability and how it may affect their progress in school, especially in a general education setting. The annual goals are also the next item you will find on the IEP. And these goals are updated yearly. The goals apply to their academic skills, their functional skills. And then next, there is progress tracking. This shows how the students will reach their goal. And progress tracking is done by their special education teacher and also their general education teacher. The special education services a student receives must be listed in detail, along with any related services such as speech or physical therapy that they may need. How long they are going to receive the services also must be listed, and how often they're going to receive the services. Also listed in the IEP must be their participation in a mainstream classroom so that the child is in the least restrictive environment. Any testing accommodations must also be included, and the student there should be a statement of transition as the student gets closer to their 16th birthday. Along with that transitional statement, there should be goals for post-secondary program, and the goals should help the student transition from school into a job, into a vocational school, or even college. All that is a part of the IEP process. You as a parent will also have a say in that process and how you want those goals to look. Your student is progressed. Their progress is monitored yearly. Once again, you must receive prior notice. There are also procedural safeguards that are put in place, and you are protected under the IDEA. Confidentiality is also very important with the IEP process and with the student information, and it will not be shared with other people other than members of the IEP team. Okay, and thank you for your time.